everyone, this is episode 69, part 2 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. And as usual, we'd like to remind you to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm BMOTW.
And I'm Narokamuya.
So we start off with Bad Man of the Week from our feature game, which was KCB versus Homeboys.
Yeah.
So for me, a few people, sort of stood out.
Yeah.
Of course, there were many, but for me, there was Johnston Lindy from Homeboys. There was Peter Waitera from KCB, Michael Kimwele from KCB, and also Zidane Maro from Homeboys. But my bad man, and I think this is more because, not necessarily because, I wouldn't say, he scored 1 million points or that, you always saw him. Those guys who do the dirty work, the little stuff that you don't notice unless you're really watching. I remember a couple of times where KCB had overlaps and he just cut out the pass. He tackled the man before, that pass was made because those were definite tries. And that was Maxwell Kang'eri from Homeboys. So yes, that is my bad man. Just because of all the dirty work he did.
He did.
Yep.
3 names for me. Johnston Olindi, because I think he's very calm at number 10.
He's
very calm.
Very composed.
I think he's having a very good season. Zidane Maro had a very good game at number 13. Broke a couple of tackles. But yeah, I think I'll agree with you. Max Kang'eri is my bad man. And I remember thinking when I was leaving KCB, I was like, I don't think there are too many guys who played like Max Kang'eri did. So he was very devastating at inside center. The good thing about Max is that he'll always break the first tackle. Unless you have like an army there. And one of the tries, Bufa's try, was actually as a result. Alvin Otieno, that his try was as a result of a break that Max Kang'eri did make. So I do agree with you. Max Kang'eri is my bad man of the week.
Yep. So well done to him. I love the player he's maturing into.
He's
definitely not the player I saw right at the beginning. Yes, he had the potential. But he's finally actually getting to the point where he's a force to reckon with.
And he's putting in the work.
So we move on to Kenyan rugby history, and we talk about a side that I think all Sevens players from the past who are playing now and who will play in the future should be saying thank you to for putting Kenya like Sevens on the map, basically. And that is the Watembezi Pacesetters.
Yes, Watembezi Pacesetters, RFC. So Watembezi Pacesetters was formed in 1982. Cliff Mukulu came up with the idea. He had been working in Dubai for some bank, and he was exposed to what was happening there. And he came back, and they were at the Impala Club, and he pitched the idea to Ambassador Dennis Owori and told Dennis Owori that, look, I think we can be able to form a team here that will be allowed to participate, will be invited to participate in Dubai. So Ambassador Owori, Cliff Mukulu, then they brought on Richard Njoba. I think at the time must have been the chairman of Queens, but they brought on Richard Njoba into the mix, and they started planning the logistics, and they were like, look, it's going to be easier to travel with this because you only need 12 guys as opposed to a 15 team, which then you needed about 22 guys. So they fundraised for, of course, to meet the logistical costs. And I just want to read the guys who are in that team. There's JJ Masiga, who, of course, guys know he also featured for the Harambee Stars. There's Max Mniafu, who's the father, of course, of Simon Mniafu. Bethel Molo, Evans Vitisia, Jackson Omaido, Tom Okech, and Cliff Mukulu. So these guys went to Dubai, and naturally, because of the athleticism and the flair, they won. And guys started getting noticed. Kenya started getting noticed that there's rugby talent in Kenya. So they were invited for a couple of Sevens tournaments again in the Middle East, and they won those tournaments. And the organizers of the Cathay Pacific Sevens, the Hong Kong Sevens, now realized that, look, there's actually rugby talent in Kenya. But the Cathay Pacific Sevens will always, it invites nations. It doesn't invite touring sides. So that's how, Kenya Sevens came to be. And as you say, the people who play for the Kenya Sevens should be thankful to the Watembezi Pacesetters for what they did. So they also have, they had a rule that one of the touring players had to be a schoolboy. So the likes of Sami Kakame, Eddie Rombo, they benefited from this policy that they had. So Watembezi Pacesetters RFC is our team of the week, and it's good to note for, again, unfortunately, I think, Sevens being the flagship product for the Kenya Rugby Union, it's good to note where
it started.
Yep. Yeah.
But man, that just shows you where, like, if your sort of heart and your mind is in a good place,
yes,
you can work wonders.
And you have to admire the guys who are. You have to admire the guys who are in the management then, or in leadership then. The likes of Ambassador Awori, who've gone on to have very, solid careers, corporate careers. Yep. Ambassador Awori, Richard Njoba, Cliff Mkulu. That was selfless. What they did was selfless, and you see what we've been able to do on the 7th circuit because of what these guys did 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago. So yeah, man, it's unfortunate. It's nowhere close to. The guys who are running the game now are nowhere close to those guys.
But that's where we should aspire to be.
Yes, that's true.
So we move back to 15s rugby, and we start with KRU Championship, or rather we talk about KRU Championship and the Nationwide League.
Yeah.
So we had Mean Machine play Western Bulls.
Yes.
And they won 18-0. And Oilers played Kisumu. This is in the semi-finals, where Oilers beat Kisumu 32-3. And that's the KRU Championship, which means that Machine and Oilers are in Kenya Cup, or Machine are back.
Machine are back in Kenya Cup, and Oilers are now for the first time in Kenya Cup. I think everyone expected that Oilers were going to get there. They breezed through the Nationwide last year, and then they've breezed through the championship.
It was only a matter of time.
It was only a matter of time before they got to the Kenya Cup. So congratulations to Mean Machine and Menengai Oilers. Mean Machine, it's good again for sentiment that they're back in the Kenya Cup, but it's going to be tough. So you guys need to work, or you'll go down. You'll just be back there. Oilers. I think they're going. You have a couple of players actually in the 7th setup, so I think Oilers are going to mount a legitimate challenge when it comes to the Kenya Cup. So congratulations to Menengai Oilers and Mean Machine for making it to the Kenya Cup.
And in the Nationwide playoffs, we had Technical University of Mombasa, TUM, beat MKU Thika 11-0. So they go on to the quarterfinals where they'll play in Kakamega against Masinde Muliro University.
Yeah, so I guess what our viewers should be knowing is that it's not only Kenya Cup. There's a hell lot of rugby that's happening to the Kenya Cup.
Just so we can't watch all of it.
We can't watch all of it, but we're definitely going to comment on what's happening in the local scene.
Then we move on to, again, shorter version of the game. So back to 7s, We're back to 7s. Our boys were in Singapore. And I don't think it was a really bad performance. We in the pool stages, we started off a little shaky with England, 28-19 to England. Then we played France, where France participated, and it was 34-0. I think that was the Billy Odhiambo, Collins Injera show. Then we played USA, who I know we really wanted to beat, and we beat them 33-14. Moved on to the Cup quarterfinals, where we played South Africa, who seemed to be our bogey team for the men's. For the men's version of the game, and we lost 24-12 to them. 5th place semi, we played against New Zealand. I think yes, we could have played better. But I think 17-7 to New Zealand is not so bad. Not so bad. So we picked up 10 points. We've got 93 so far. So we're 6th in the series, just after USA, who also have 93, but they went on points difference.
You see, the way I look at it is, of course, and kawaida Kenyan, and it's a kawaida Kenyan thing. Like, we've got into 2 cup finals, and of course you expect that's going to be what's going to be happening. That you're going to be getting to cup finals. But the truth is, when we were beginning the season, our main cup quarters was good enough, or was satisfactory. I think we wouldn't be paying for Namcos's blood, innocence in you, that is, if they got to the main cup quarterfinals, which they did. Mine would just be now to tell the team that, look, okay, fine, guys are noting that there's some improvement. You guys are getting to the main cup quarters, so now we have to start, building towards,
taking it a notch higher.
Taking it a notch higher. Let's like the Mike Friday days. Let's be dealing with semi-finals and the works. But all in all, it was a good performance by the boys. I think fatigue was also an issue. Look, they've played back-to-back Hong Kong Commonwealth games, and then Singapore Sevens. It's not easy. It's not easy, and we cannot fault them for how they performed in Singapore. I think they performed well.
I think they performed well too. I think they should definitely be happy with how well they've done so far. They've had a really good run, and I think we should still still back them. I mean, it's not that, this tournament they didn't do well and now we're back to sack Namcos.
Yeah.
We can't be doing that all the time.
No, it's not possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we move on to the international rugby scene.
Yes.
Where we talk Super Rugby.
Yeah.
So it's match day 10.
Yes.
Bulls play Highlanders and 1 point difference.
Yep.
I mean, Bulls 28, Highlanders 29.
Highlanders 29.
You can't get closer than that.
It doesn't get more entertaining than that game. Like what's his name? Jesse Krill scored a try in the 75th minute for Bulls, and I thought like the game was done. Heinrich Pollard converted it, and we knew it was done. And then a silly infringement offside by the Bulls, and about a 40-meter kick, Lima Sopoanga knocks it, and the game ends 28-29. So it was definitely a very interesting game of rugby and a very entertaining game of rugby. And Bulls showing that they're a class team in South Africa. So that's what we had for our feature game.
Yeah.
Then Jesus, these blind guys. Then the other games, we had Stormers beat the Rebels 34-18. We had the Reds beat the Lions 27-22, which was also a shocker. Sorry. We had the Blues lose to the Jaguares 13-20. We had the Brumbies lose to the Crusaders 8-21. Sorry, and we had the Brumbies lose to the Crusaders 8-21.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we move on to the fact that Bryan Habana has announced his retirement from rugby, and I'll just read out a quote from him.
Yeah.
So the inevitable moment has come knocking on my door, and I've welcomed it in for a drink.
Yeah, that's how he announced his retirement. But Bryan Habana has been a legend in the game. 124 caps for the Springboks, 67 tries for the Springboks. I think he's the highest try scorer for the Springboks. He scored 15 tries at the World Cup, and he's actually tied with John Alomu for most tries at the World Cup. I must say that I witnessed him score live his 15th try. He's actually 13th, 14th, and 15th try again versus the USA at the 2015 Rugby World Cup. But look, this guy has been a champion. He raced the cheetahs and he's been doing all that, but he broke into the scene I think the 2007 World Cup when South Africa won. Scored 4 tries in one game versus Samoa, scored 8 tries at the end of the tournament, and he's just been a class act for South Africa. He's one of the few guys, the 5 guys who've been in the top 5 or over 100 caps for the Springboks. So it's been a pleasure watching him, and congratulations on your career as you head to retire.
Now being a father and a husband, like full time.
Like full time now. Yeah. So.
Anyway,
it's definitely. Kudos to Bryan Habana.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
Guys, remember you can like our page on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm BMOTW.
And I'm Ngarokamuya.
See you in part 2.